it came down to like, does this make me happy? Yes. Okay, we'll keep going. All the things that I do are tied to creativity. So I started in radio. I would write and produce stuff for radio stations, most recently KBCO. And then I left to pursue voiceover and realized that without the job where my title was Creative Services Director, I needed to make sure that I was creating opportunities for myself to be creative. And several years back, I just kind of started playing around with visual stuff. I never really had done that before. And the visual art and my love of music came together with my brand Hi-Fi Jones, which is just for people that love music, love albums, love analog and stereo equipment and pop culture and things like that. And so it's just been a real joy to have this space and make stuff every day. Almost all my stuff has a recycled, upcycled, reclaimed component. So I'd have a reclaimed cabinet door, say from Resource in Boulder. I would get an image together in the computer and then I would reverse it in order to print it onto paper that gets glopped up with this gel medium, and then the paper gets put down onto the substrate of the cabinet door. It gets left for a day or two, and then you can begin to scrape it off. It winds up feeling a bit weathered and distressed. And I just loved it. I was like, oh my gosh. It started as a hobby, then I thought, well, maybe this is a side hustle. And it's grown to the point where it's like, no, this is a full-on thing that I want to share with people because I love it. And then maybe other people will love it too. You know, some of the stuff I did early on is super cringy. You know, to me at least, I'm like, ugh. If I listen to my production from old radio days, or even my voice work, I mean, like, ugh. But that's just the way it is, man. You just have to be willing to go there and learn, and ultimately not really care that much about it. And also just remind yourself over and over that one, it is a process, and two, nobody else really cares. You know, it's that path that I think a lot of creative people go through, or artists go through. Like, for instance, even that word. There was a long struggle with like, well, I'm not an artist, you know, like I don't know if I'm an artist, or kind of breaking in the willingness to say that. Just let go of like, well, is this really art? You know, if I'm not there with a you know, a beret on and a paintbrush, am I an artist? Like, well, yeah, people make art any number of ways. And ultimately, I just had to let go of that because it came down to like, does this make me happy? Yes. Okay, we'll keep going. One of the best or most fortunate things for me was being able to buy this space that we're in right now. Over time, it became my creative clubhouse. What I wanted to do with this space was bring people in for fun, games, music, art, creativity, but also my goal is to very quickly, in the environment that we're in right now, transmit what my art is all about. I'm open Thursday nights with E. Simpson Coffee Company. We do community hangout night. They've got live music and a food truck. I've got my music in my arcade. People come in. There's a lot of stuff going on in Lafayette right now that I feel a lot of people are sensing. I put the sign out and people show up and I have these wonderful conversations with them. And whether they buy art or not has become irrelevant to me. I just like talking to people. I like to get in here, settle myself, write down some intentions for the day, and then the morning is my fertile creative time. That's to me the measure of like whether a day has been, you know, worthwhile. Not entirely, but it's one of the measures is like, what did I make today? Did I get creative time today? That's it. I just decided that's the way I'm wired. So the building in the back of this property is called Kaleidoscope. I thought it would be really cool to give other people the opportunity to come in and be creative every day. People sometimes look at me with this kind of wide-eyed or disbelieving face, like, how did you? And again, I just come back to like, well, why wouldn't I do that if I can? I mean, I definitely admit and want to acknowledge that I'm in a very lucky place to be able to do this. My wife has been super supportive. Thank you. You know, I don't know, it's almost like the old Spider-Man line. It all comes back to Spider-Man, Matt. With great power comes great responsibility. I mean, I have this space, my wife and I have it. Like, let's do something cool with it. Kaleidoscope is a non-profit art and creative sanctuary. It's a place where people can come and make whatever their version of art is every day. But if I incubate in someone the desire to go make art and be in the same joyful space that I get into when I make art, mission accomplished. There are 5 studios and 3 of them are available for ongoing reasonable rent. The 2 remaining spaces are a podcast space and streaming radio station. This station's on the air already. And then the 5th studio is our daily retreat space, our creative retreat space, which is a dedicated studio for people to just come in and reconnect with those creative energies, almost like a creative Airbnb. You come in and you just like embed yourself in Kaleidoscope and see what happens. I really just followed that I like doing it. When I am in the creative mode, I love that. It just makes me happy.